So now I will confess. Okay. So I do have this horrible habit sometimes. Welcome to another episode of RATz, Random Ass Thoughts with Kate
and Tebow,
where we unprofessionally discuss absolutely nothing of value to anyone.
These are unconvinced opinions of hypothetical topics and events that may or may not have passed through your mind.
And if you finish a whole episode and wonder, what the hell did I just listen to? Then we've done our job.
Welcome to RATz.
Hello. I'm glad you didn't get that one wrong. That was good.
Excuses. I might sneeze throughout this episode. I might sniffle. I might clear my throat. Because we're sick over here. You know? That's how it's gotta go.
All right. This is promising. This is a great way to start the episode.
Yeah. Excuse my
sounds.
Yes. But we can keep going. We can go. So I'm spinning the wheel, and the number is number 11.
11. Okay.
I know that sounds like a good number. Okay, and this number 11 says, "Are humans naturally dirty or clean?" Are humans naturally dirty or clean? And there is a thought process behind this.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So you know how, I don't know, maybe you don't know, but sometimes, have you ever had moments between not showering for a long time?
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, maybe you feel dirty like in the very beginning of it, but then once you like settle in that dirtiness, it starts to feel like comfortable.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, is that our natural state, is to be dirty, but we have outgrown our dirtiness because we're like civilized and now we're clean? Or is our natural inclination to seek cleanliness in a dirty world? Does that make sense to you? I think about this a lot. I think about this a lot.
No. It was making sense. It's just funny that you think about this a lot. Let's see. So I would say that we probably like shower too much.
Yeah, I agree.
As a thing, because you're like, I mean, we're supposed to deal with we're supposed to be like deal with like germs and basic stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we probably shower too much. Are we naturally? I mean, I think we probably had some kind of ability to kind of stay clean, like animals. You know, they don't have to clean all the time.
Right. Do you feel like, I mean, animals are naturally dirty, I feel.
They're naturally dirty?
I think so. I think for the most part, they're more dirty than clean. Unless they're in close proximity to humans, right? Like, even the way that they clean themselves is very, like, they don't scrub. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm just going to go in the water real quick, get a little wet over here, and that's it.
Well, also, why do we scrub, I guess, is the question.
Right. Because we've become so civilized that we, like, I don't know, that's like the norm, right?
Right.
But I don't think I mean, I do it. All this to say, I do all of these things. Okay?
Right. But all this to say, I don't shower. I don't wash.
I mean, I feel like we shouldn't be showering as much as we do. Yes.
Right, yes.
We also shouldn't be washing our clothes as much as we wash them. Because I think we wash them, like, after one time wearing, usually we like put it in the dirty pile and it's like it goes in the wash.
It depends. I have a midway pile.
Oh, that's a good pile to have.
I have a pile where I wore this, so all underwear goes into the wash right away. But then, like, you know, a shirt that I didn't sweat in, I just kind of wore that day. This shirt that I'm wearing right now, I wore it after I showered yesterday after my workout. I wore it for the rest of that day. I didn't do anything, I didn't even, I stayed inside. I'm not going to just throw that in the wash. Why? Yeah. It's still clean. So I take it and wear it today. So that's like my midway pile. So it doesn't go straight into the wash pile. So I have some things that like,
yeah,
or like jeans and stuff.
That's how it should be. I feel like we wash our clothes too much, and then why do we scrub? We shouldn't have to scrub,
Yeah, well, and also like use super hot water. So I know I use super hot water.
Yeah.
And apparently that's not good for you either, because it just removes all the old natural oils and stuff that you're supposed to have. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know what's funny though is I think it's also linked to diet, because what's funny though is that you have some especially I see it in Nice because it's more of a city, so you have some homeless people, they smell absolutely horrible, absolutely horrendous, and then others not so much. And they've been out there all day, but it's just I don't know, it's not so much. And so I don't know. And I've noticed a difference with my diet. Like if I'm not eating like clean stuff or all that kind of, I'm eating like junk food and stuff. I will. My armpits will smell worse.
I agree. Yeah. Or if you're sick too, like I feel like if you have like some sort of sickness or disease, like you smell worse than if you're like healthy,
Yeah.
No. So I mean, I feel like next time you get dirty, you're going to think about this. You're like, wait, is this my natural, am I home? Like this feels so comfortable, because I do feel like if you're clean and you get dirty, you get uncomfortable, but then once you like settle into it, it feels kind of good. Like
it's a different. So like I remember I went to Mexico by myself and like stayed in hostels and stuff like that, and I was going around and I didn't shower every day. Whenever we found a shower, or even like an outdoor shower, I just took an outdoor shower, rinsed, whatever. And like after a while you settle in it, but also your nose gets used to whatever it smells after a while. So I don't know.
Plus, there's also something very, very, very like nice about a good shower after being dirty for so long.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so now I will confess. Okay, so I do have this horrible habit sometimes of just like, I enjoy the sensation of being dirty, right? I'm like,
we knew it was coming. Go ahead.
I'm like, maybe I should just not say it, but whatever. I mean, who cares? If people are gonna judge me off of this, then too bad for me. Okay, too bad for me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Okay. But like
this is a lot of buildup now.
Especially when I feel like there's more people out there who do this. They're just too ashamed to say it. So I'm going to speak for everybody.
Okay, please.
This is
go
on
ahead.
behalf of everyone else who does this, who's too ashamed to say. And if I'm the only one that does this, then shame on me. That's fine. Okay. I only do, well, I shouldn't say only. Sometimes I skip showers. Especially when it's cold outside, I'm like, I wash all the important parts, right?
Right.
But for the most part, I will just like stretch it out. So I can go, I mean, I would say, like, I'll go maybe like 2, 3, 4 days. That's like a full show.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to say 2, 3, 4 weeks.
No.
So, okay. Yeah.
No,
2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4 days. It's fine. Especially if you don't do anything, right? Especially if you're like not really working out. You're not really sweating.
Now, you do live in Florida. So that's Look, something to consider.
Sometimes I feel dirty outside and I come inside in the AC and I feel clean. And then I'm like,
that's just sweating and then drying it out.
I'm like, we're good. I feel good, know. But then there's only so many days that you can do that until you're like, okay, now I feel cranky. I feel greasy. I feel dirty. Right, but then I really love to get in the shower and get like a deep clean because that feels good. So I've gotten into this habit of like, let's just stretch it out just for the reward of the like very nice, clean, full shower. And that is
okay.
Those are my dirty habits, you know? But like I said,
that's hilarious. Yeah.
I wash everything that needs to be washed. So like I don't necessarily like I'm not dirty to the max. I'm just like halfway. I'm like your halfway pile, you know? Like she's still good. She doesn't necessarily need. It's kind of gross. I mean, yesterday I did go to like a hot yoga class, and I came back, and then I was like, you know, I dried up. Like I didn't sweat that much either because it's cold outside. And I came back in, and I'm like, okay, let's go to bed. And Mitch's like, what? He's like, you know. He's like, you went to a hot yoga class.
Yes,
like,
you can't say you didn't sweat that much. I don't care if it's cold outside. It's still a hot yoga class.
And I was like, wait, but smell me. Do I smell? And he's like, yes, you smell. I'm like, oh, I thought I smelled like roses. I did take a shower, but, you know, I was fully prepared to get in bed. No, not taking a shower. That is disgusting.
See, but see, I feel like sometimes you say these things because you feel like that's what people would think, but it's not necessarily what you actually think.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it from the perspective of like people who like literally shower every day.
My point is, looking at it from your perspective, is that actually what you feel about it?
I would think it's disgusting if it was someone that I don't necessarily know, right? Like I feel like if Matu really got dirty outside and he like smells, I also wouldn't let him in the bed. But if he like went outside and he doesn't smell that much, like okay, he would never because he's not as dirty as me, you know? And I feel like if I have a couple of friends who's, since I've shared this story, have confessed to me like, oh yeah, I do that sometimes too, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's dirty. But if there's like someone I don't know who's already like maybe in my mind, like not as clean, and they say that's what they do, then I would be like, oh yeah, that's disgusting. It depends on someone's like base level of cleanliness. Like if I perceive you to be like somewhat clean and every once in a while you don't shower, it's okay. But if you're like already dirty and greasy and you tell me you don't shower, I'd be like, yeah, that's gross.
Okay. All right. It's basically how far do you let this go?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, are you an addict or do you just dabble?
Yeah. Like, is this a habit or is this just like something you do for fun? You know?
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, in high school, I did it a lot where, so we had a gym at lunch. We could eat our lunch in the gym.
Yeah.
Which meant that basically all the guys would just scarf down their lunch on the walk over to the gym. Yeah. And then we played basketball the rest of the time. So we're in our clothes, we get sweaty. So that's one. Then we go back, we have class, we're sweaty, but whatever. And then we go the rest of the day. Then we'll probably, if we have basketball practice or soccer or whatever, we'll get sweaty again. We'll change clothes, but we'll get sweaty again. And then, then we might play basketball that evening. If I'm going to go over to my friend's house, we might play basketball that evening. And outside, we get sweaty. We come back inside. We play cards till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we pass out. And not a shower was taken. We did talk about taking a shower a lot. We would say, I got to take a shower. And then we would say that several times. But
then you shower the next day. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fine.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I know,
that's a lot.
As long as you eventually shower, like the shower is on your mind. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I don't think there are points for that though, and I think it obviously changes when you have somebody that you're actually going into bed with.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. Like I went into bed dirty sometimes, you know, as long as I was dry, but it was dirty.
Yeah.
You know, now that's not going to be the case as much, you know.
Yeah.
You get older and boring, I guess. But yeah,
and I also think like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm being, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the word is, but maybe I feel like women are also like baseline cleaner than guys are a little bit. Sorry.
I like the timing of that.
As I'm like sneezing in
right.
but you know what I mean? Like, if they sweat, they don't smell as strongly as men do.
It does seem that that's the case.
Right. So I think I can get away with like getting into bed a little bit dirty versus like if Matu were to get into bed dirty.
At least you think you can, once again. Because clearly he was smelling something you didn't. You were smelling roses. Yeah. And he was not. I don't smell anything. Case.
I'm like, can you come smell me? Are you sure I can't get into bed? He's like, no, you need to go take a shower, right?
Yeah. And I feel like, with all the love he has for you, you definitely probably pushed that one.
No, I did shower. I showered.
No, I'm saying for him to call you out on it. You were probably well past that barrier of I'm gonna just be nice and be like, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. You were probably way past that barrier.
He's like, you need to go.
No, this is bad. Like, this is bad.
Well, I think
it might wake me up.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I never let it get to that point,
At least, so you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, how would you know if you thought roses?
That's true.
And it wasn't. Then how would you know if you let it get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It's just a feeling.
It's not something that I wouldn't say I'm not proud of it. It's fun. I think everybody should try. I think everybody should try it every once in a while. Just get to the fullest extent of your tolerance for dirtiness,
right?
And maybe even past that, right? Because if you shower every day, it's like you miss half a shower and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm dirty. Like push past it, and then get like really into it, and then take a shower. I feel like that shower is so rewarding.
I feel like this is gonna be the new trend. So you cold plunge and you don't shower.
Come out of that shower brand new. Like I've had days where I'm like, man, I feel so like I don't know why.
When we travel, like sometimes we've had like a two day travel time, right? And like for whatever reason, you feel so horrifically disgusting when you travel.
I mean, for sure,
you just feel disgusting. So after 2 days of travel, we had to stay at a horrible hotel. It was a motel. There was like a drug deal happening there, like a small time, but it was just like a really bad place that they set us up on. It was absolutely disgusting. Sheets were disgusting. We didn't touch anything. We were just like laying on the top, and like you feel absolutely disgusting. So after 2 days of that, you take a shower. It feels amazing.
Oh, you are like golden, and that's what I'm going for. I like the feeling of being. I don't necessarily like being dirty. I love the feeling of being reborn clean. Like that's next level clean.
Yeah. And, no, I understand that. You could also get that by just doing some manual labor outside.
Right, but I mean that's not fun.
That's not as fun as just not taking a shower for 3 days.
That's not fun. Yeah, I love when I have like those days where I'm like, oh, I have a headache. Oh, why do I feel like this? And I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't showered in a while, And then it's like, let's go.
See that I feel like it's concerning when you're talking about a headache. Now you're not even talking about like, no, it's like I am stone rank. I am giving myself a headache.
Like, what is that?
Oh. I didn't even know that connected. Wow, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. I think that might be when you say I never let it get too far. I feel like that's it. I feel like when you give yourself a headache from how
your hair gets greasy, like you just
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, when I had cornrows when I was younger, I had cornrows, and you don't wash cornrows.
Yeah.
But that's also different type of hair.
Yeah, and you still maintain
white people do that. It's pretty disgusting.
Plus, you maintain it too. Like, there's also a level of maintenance that comes into cornrows, right? Like, you have to oil it.
No. You just
You just
tap your head, tap your head to scratch, and that's it.
I thought
when it gets itchy, you just tap your head.
Oh, I thought you like oiled it. I thought people put oil in it just to kind of like keep it fresh. I don't know.
Maybe some fancy people.
Yeah,
you put just some powder.
There you go. I don't know, but that you're right. That's different type of hair. So
yeah.
If your slick hair turns into like matted, like there's other things going on. It's not just because you braided it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's some other elements that introduce them their way into that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather?
Would you rather? All right, you got one? I got one.
I have one. I thought of one. Right. Would you rather?
Oh, this is gonna be a shower thing.
No.
Okay.
Would you rather be alone forever? Forever. Okay? Forever. Like you're never going to interact with someone else. You're never going to have a conversation with someone else for the rest of your life alone.
Okay.
Or would you rather be in a community of maybe like 5 to 10 people that you absolutely hate? Despise, dislike, the conversation dumb, the voice monotone, the everything, you know what I mean? Like it's just it takes a lot of effort to be in conversation.
But can I talk to people outside of that community?
No, you can only these are the people that you spend your time with for the rest of your life are the people that you absolutely cannot tolerate being around.
Oh yeah, the community of people I can't tolerate.
Okay, why?
Well, because at least it gives me something to do. I can entertain myself with how much I dislike them, and I could make fun of them in my head and probably in person.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean that gives me something to do.
Yeah, and I do think like at one point maybe it becomes endearing. Because you have no one else, so you're like, I'm just gonna teach myself to like appreciate this person. I don't know how that works,
Yeah, I was in college. I had 2 people in a room theory, which was you put 2 people that are absolutely repulsive to each other in a room. At some point there's going to be some kind of attraction if you keep them there long enough. Like that's it. If you isolate them and you keep them long, I mean, there's going to be something.
Aside from the word attraction, I was going to be like, that's basically what this podcast is.
I'm glad that you waited for a while. First of all, I was starting on the basis that they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't hate you before we started this podcast. So it wasn't right. And second of all, I was talking more attraction and isolation.
I got you. No,
you don't talk to anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, I agree. But that also is like you wouldn't have a choice because I do think like people's natural is to be to be in connection, right? So if you have
and you gotta figure it out. Like you gotta and also if you're isolated in a community of 5 people and y'all are all isolated together. It is very unlikely that your beliefs, personalities, and all that kind of stuff will remain that far off from each other.
That's
like all your experiences are the same. Like you start to get, you start to become similar. So, I guess.
The 2-person in a room theory, how does that apply to like family, siblings, cousins? Like, you think that eventually.
Wow, Kate, you're really going there, huh? You're really going there.
Well,
if you want to know, I think so. I mean, I think that's where you had the what you call it. If you isolate them completely, no outside world whatsoever for over a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what could happen?
And then they'd be like, "Who's gonna know?" Because.
Yeah, leave it to you. All right, so then you answer the question. Which one would you do?
Originally when I thought of this, would you rather, I was like, maybe I'll do alone by myself because I one thing I can't do is fake being nice around like insufferable people. Like as outgoing as I am, like that's something that I can't, and I prefer to just be by myself.
Okay.
But then I'm thinking like forever, that's a long time for me to be like not talking to anybody.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'll pick that one too. Because the thing is, I can isolate myself within the community.
Right, exactly. If you really don't want to.
Yeah. I just think like that's a better option.
You can at least see people outside.
Yeah. You know? I mean, at one point being alone forever, you might also start seeing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that you don't right now. But
yeah. I mean, if I try hard enough, I could. You know? No, I'll pick that one. I'll pick the community of horrid personalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So would you rather be 20 years old for the rest of your life or 40 years old for the rest of your life?
20 years old for the rest, like in my current situation. You know what I mean? Like in my current lifeline. Like at 20, I wouldn't have Sienna. At 40, I would have my kids. Or no, or just
right. Yeah. You take what you have and you move forward. You can move forward, but you take what you have at that point. So what you had at 20, you move forward, and what you have at 40, you move forward.
Oh yeah, I would 100% do 40.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I can extend my life with my family, I just choose that. You know, like at 20, what did I know? I was miserable. And then also, then I'm not going to ever evolve beyond that.
No, I mean, you can evolve about it. You just stay 20. But you could learn, you could grow, you could, but just stay 20.
So I could like have a family. I could have all that.
Yeah, you could have all that. Yeah, it would be a different life, but yes, you could have that. Yeah.
And they grow older, but I stay 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's hard. Hold on.
Yeah.
So I could have my family. I just stayed 20.
Yeah.
Forever. Like, so I could be here right now and have everything that I have now and be 20.
Yeah. I mean, but you'd have to start from where you were at your 20, so it might not be the same exact,
It might look different.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's hard because I'm not 40 yet,
Right.
The reason why I'm kind of hesitant to say 40 is because
use how old you are now. Doesn't matter with the 40.
Oh, 35?
Yeah.
I'll go with why is it so hard for me? I'll go with 35.
Okay.
Because the only reason why I'd want to pick 20 is because I'm like, I feel like your mind was so like flexible, like,
right.
And also my ability to throw caution to the wind I was more open to that. Like it was just a lot more fun at 20, even though it was also very dangerous. I feel like it was just like more adventurous. It was wild,
Okay.
35 feels it feels solid. It feels good. We'll go with that. We'll go with 35.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, this one's tough because basketball would have me say 20.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, I'm a better basketball player now than when I was 20. But obviously, if I continue to work on it, my peak performance at 20 would be better than my peak performance at 40.
Right.
But life, and if I could freeze it now, I'd do 40.
See, it's hard. It's hard to want to go back in time, I think, when you are pretty content.
Yeah, because you'd have to do the whole thing again. You'd have to do a lot of the different steps again. Yeah. Even if you could grow and you'd stay 20, that's cool, but you'd have to do a lot of the different steps again. And I don't necessarily want to do a lot of different steps again. I'm happy with the step, most of the steps that I've taken. The ones I'm not happy, I can still fix. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let's do that.
Yeah, I think so. And I feel like also considering like my family, my kids and stuff, like we're all in a good spot. Like, going back in time might make things look completely different. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily wanting like that's not needed for me. So I like 35. We'll keep going with 35. If I could be 35 forever, I mean, it wouldn't be ideal, but it would be fine.
Yeah.
My best year of my life was 28. Like
28, okay.
I remember 28, like the day I turned 28, I'm like, man, this feels so good. And then just the year 28, like it was just a good year. It was a good time to be alive at 28. That I just nothing spectacular happened at 28. I just felt like the stars aligned for me to be 28.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good year.
Yeah. I don't know if I have one like that. I don't know if I have like one specific year. I liked my childhood.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then there was some rough spots.
Yeah.
And honestly, now's the most like kind of good, I guess, that it's been. So I'm like, this territory is pretty decent.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be able to like not only take care of yourself, but also be able to like provide for a family,
right.
You know, and to be like, wow, all the things that you maybe like not necessarily regretted or resented in your childhood, but all the things that you wish were different, you get to now create for yourself and for your like children, you know?
Right.
So like that feels good. Like, wow, I really do have you're no longer being like jerked around by life. Like you get to kind of like choose the things that happen, you know?
Yeah, in some
to
cases,
to an extent, of course.
Yeah.
But like,
so I think it's a good, like I have a solid kind of launching pad at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas at 20, I didn't.
You know, but 20, man, like the mindset of 20 just feels so fun, doesn't it? Like I'm just thinking of like
I think you're thinking about your 20. My 20 was different. My 20 was isolation and work.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I had Sienna. I got pregnant at 20, and then I had her at 21. You know, so I never really got to live out my 20s, but I in my mind.
In my mind, it was a crazy place
like,
to be.
My mind wanted to live out, but I couldn't, you know?
Right.
So like to be able to relive my 20s and not have the responsibility, or be able to delay that responsibility a little bit, so where I could really like fully go full speed. Maybe that would be, maybe I wouldn't make it to 35. I don't know.
Based on the way you're talking, I don't think so.
You know, and the thing is, like, I'm not dangerous like that. Like I never got into drugs, you know, like that's not something that I think I would get into. But to think,
though it is your fantasy right now.
It is my fantasy because I never got to do it. I did.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was still pretty, you know, there were still moments where I was pretty reckless at 20, but yeah, I feel like if I didn't have the responsibility, it could have gotten worse, you know?
Right. I understand it. Yeah. All right. Would you rather? Current event.
No.
Totally.
Did we do it all?
Oh, wait. No, yeah, we did. You did. Okay. Yeah, we did yours, you did mine. Okay. Current event.
Current event. Okay, let me pull it up. Current event. This lady in New Jersey.
Oh, right.
A woman fell into a dumpster while throwing out her garbage and was later rescued from a trash truck that had compacted the contents while she was inside. Luckily, neighbors heard her screams and the trash compartment was equipped with a camera. The driver spotted the woman stuck inside and called 911. By then, the driver had reportedly compacted the garbage up to 4 times. Rescuers used a basket ladder to reach the top of the truck and lift her out. By then, she was standing, talking, yelling, but was not alert enough to answer questions. The woman was taken to a hospital after Monday's misadventure. Her name was not released. In 32 years, I've never seen anything like this my whole career. It's alarming because you don't really think it's true.
This is another one that, like the toilet one, that raises so many questions.
I feel like are they just making story? Like the last sentence, it's alarming because you don't really think it's true. I'm like, wait a second, are you lying to me? Did this actually happen? But you're trying to see how gullible we are. Look.
How do you fall into a trash right before they come pick it up?
Well, maybe she was drunk. Okay.
I think that especially because of the part where they say she came out yelling and whatever, but she wasn't coherent.
Right.
I think that's what they're leaving out.
She must have been intoxicated to some degree,
yes.
you know? And then maybe she stumbled in, because sometimes you have like the bigger ones, you know, they also didn't say the size. And if you have something heavy and you're intoxicated and you're like tossing it in, it's very easy to fall in yourself, you know?
You've been there.
Okay, so I have done this with my keys. You know, like when we used to live in apartments, you'd have your keys in your and I would have my keys on my finger, and then I would have the trash can, and I'd throw it in, and I'd toss my key in, and that has happened probably like 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, in maybe the span of a year. And like Matu, I'd always have to call Matu, and he'd have to like come and like, you know, climb in the trash to retrieve my keys.
And then neither one of you take a shower, right?
Yeah, and then we roll right into bed. I'd be like, make sure you like get on those walls. And I'd like lick my keys. Like that was my plan.
Yeah, no, I got that. That's why it happens so many times in a year. Yeah.
Because if I told him like, hey, do you mind just getting in the trash before we go to bed? Like he would be like, absolutely no, you know?
Right.
No. So I can see that happening.
Right.
And she got very lucky. I mean, she could have died.
Right.
Because those there must have been something else that was jamming the compactor.
I mean, I guess because maybe there just wasn't a lot of trash in there, because it compacts it, but I don't know how far it goes. I have no clue how these things work. I didn't even know what a basket ladder is before I looked it up.
A basket ladder is like what the fire trucks have, right?
Okay. Maybe this is something, because that's not the images that are.
Yeah, I think it's like the ladder that can put you in and out. Like it's a ladder with a basket. What are you talking about?
Okay, well I don't know. I'm looking up basket ladder, and that's not what it looks like.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm looking it up too. Basket ladder. What is it looking like for you?
Well, first of all, there's like a lot of home decor, but then there's like these ladders you would find in a warehouse. I only found one picture of a fire truck ladder, and I think that's probably what it is. So it's like with that little standing
basket
part
at top. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they removed her. Like, I don't know. I don't know how the inside of a compacting trash truck. Like, I don't know how far it goes. Like, does it just like compact it completely? I mean, it can't, obviously, because otherwise.
If it jams, then it can't. I think sometimes it jams, but I don't think it was her that jammed it. You're right. I think it must have been something else.
We're kind of soft, so I don't think. Yeah. I think trash. Like, oh God, this looks scary. Yeah, I think. Oh my gosh, that looks kind of scary, honestly. But so yeah, no, I think there could be space, but oh my.
What are you looking at?
Garbage truck compactor view. And it's like showing
it's like a
compacting.
Big thing that goes down, right? Like this.
Yeah, it goes over and it pushes the trash. So it doesn't compact it, like it bounces back. It doesn't compact it like to the point where it annihilates it. But I mean, yeah, it would not be a comfortable ride for sure.
No. And like, imagine if they didn't catch her and then they drove all the way to the dump thing and they put her in that machine that like just shreds you to pieces. You know?
Is that where that goes?
I mean, it goes to the trash, right? It goes to the dump.
It goes to the dump, but I don't know that it goes into the shredder. That giant shredder that you saw images of. I think that's more for recycling like unique things.
But she got very lucky either way.
Absolutely. I mean, because that's terrifying.
Because the thing is, too, like, aside from being compacted, she could also just get suffocated by all that trash. You know, like if they kept going all the way through the route and they're like, what the hell? You can stop breathing. Like you could literally suffocate in that trash.
Yeah. And that would be a shitty way to go.
A trashy way to go.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Now, my question for her
was like, that joke was just, you know.
My question for her is like, did she shower afterwards? You know?
No. Because imagine if she went 3 more days, what kind of shower would feel? I mean, that would feel amazing.
She probably didn't shower because she went to the hospital. So they took care of her right there, and then she had like 3-4 days of care. So she only that's another thing. Like you go to the hospital, and technically you can't shower until you're like say you go
and shower in a hospital.
Well, let's say you're in a really bad car accident, and they take you into the ER, and then you get like you have broken bones, and then you're just like. You're dirty the whole way through until you're well enough to take a shower, right?
Yeah, well, I think the nurses will like wash rag you, you know, kind of.
Yeah, but that's not the same. That's still kind of dirty.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
It's still kind of dirty.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than feeling dirty and then getting a wash rag bath. Like what?
Like, maybe being in a horrible accident. If you're describing that scenario, that might be a little worse.
That's true. There's just nothing worse.
You're like, there's nothing worse than that. I don't care what state you're in. This is the absolute worst thing. See, now I'm like going down the rabbit hole of trash trucks and how they function.
There you go. You can actually, so that can be your next cake. You should make a hydraulic cake of a trash truck. And the thing is, like, when it opens, there's like more cake crumbles inside. I think that would be, or like gummy bears, like gummy bear trash, you know?
Yeah. No, that
I think that would be really. I think that's what you should do.
Honestly, that.
I think Theo would really enjoy that cake.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. You know what I think's funny? You say Theo with a TH, but you say Mathieu with a hard T.
What?
So you say Mathieu, right?
Yeah, Mathieu.
Yeah, and then you say Theo with like a TH, like a soft TH, like a Theo.
Theo.
Yeah.
Isn't that, how do you say his name?
Theo.
Is that wrong?
I mean, wrong. It doesn't. It's not like it's offensive. I just thought it was interesting
Theo.
how you say it, because it's like Theo, like it's Theo.
Well,
because it's not American. Like it's not an American way of saying it.
Okay, so TH is very hard for me because Dutch, right? So
right. That's what I was figuring that it was had something to do with it.
When I moved to America, it was impossible for me to say tree. Three. They're like, it's not
three.
Tree. Yeah, it's not tree, it's 3. I'm like, what the flip? Like, it's 3, you know?
Right,
and then, like, with Theo, I think it's hard to pronounce his name because I'm like, I don't know how to do it the French way. I know it's not the American way because that would be, I don't even know there's an American way to pronounce it.
Theo. A lot of people say Theo.
Oh, yeah, but even that, I don't know how to say, like, Theodore, Theo, like, that's
Theo,
hard.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You got it right, yeah.
So I say it the Dutch way, which is Theo.
Yeah. No, which I like. I just think it's funny.
And with Mathieu, he always introduces himself as Mathieu because people don't know how to say Mathieu.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And also, it's a French pronunciation of the word. So
yeah, I know. And it's funny he didn't go with Matthew.
No, because
he didn't want to go to Matthew.
He's like, that's too, you know, it's a type.
Right. No, I know. I hear you.
Matthew then turns into Matt, and he's
Matt.
Like he's not a Matt. Which is funny because
no, that's fair.
Whenever we're around people that are Matts, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're Matt," and he's like, "Oh yeah, no," you know, because it's like
I'm not one of you.
He's not a Matt. He also doesn't. He's not a Matt, but he's also like, it's hard. I have to figure. Sometimes I call him Mathieu. Sometimes I call him Mathieu.
Right.
You know.
See, I have a hard time with Mathieu.
Yeah, I know, because you're French.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I'm like Mathieu. No, it's Mathieu.
Yeah. No, he appreciates people actually saying his name the right way because it never happens.
Right.
You know? Even sometimes when I'm like, Mathieu, he's like, what? What you call me?
If you say Matu, I feel like I need to say Matu too.
No.
But it naturally to me it would be Matu.
No, keep it up because I think he appreciates that more than being like Matu. And I think like as he's getting into his 40s too, he's kind of taking a departure from Matu and being like, my name is Matu, you know, when he introduces himself. But then you have a 5-minute conversation around it, and then they're like, oh, how do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it? And they still pronounce it wrong, you know.
Oh, I do know very much. Yes, I know very much. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I used to hate that's why I went with Adrian for a while, but then now I like it because it actually makes you stand out. Like people remember it.
Exactly. So that's same. In terms of Theo, I'm scared to say his name because I'm like I
don't think it needs to evoke fear though.
I'm butchering
nobody's.
Because no, in my mind it's like I know his name. But like for some reason my mind's like it's not going to come out right. It's not going to come out right. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm not going to say his name. But then what do I say? Your son? That's weird because I know you and I know your son. You know. So
that's okay. My friend of like 30 years will still say my wife, even though I went to school with her.
You're like I know who your wife is.
Like I know her. We went to school together. She even came to France with me one year. Like I know her. And he's like my wife. I'm like, bruh.
Did you get a new one? No. Did you get a new wife that I don't know?
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Yeah. the one everyone knows, or the other one that no one knows.
And then by contrast, you have the people who like you've just met, but they'll use the people's first names. As though you're supposed to know them.
Yes,
you know?
That's true.
And you're like, and then Susan was telling me, and I'm like,
you're like, who the hell is Susan?
And then you find out Susan's not even their wife, it's somebody else. Yeah. And how the hell am I supposed to know Susan?
Or like, you know, people that call, like, that talk about their parents, and rather than saying like my dad or my mom, they're like, mom said.
Right.
I'm like, that's not my mom.
Right. Like our joint mother said this. I wasn't aware.
It's like, who said this? Whose mom? Your mom or my mom? Like, you gotta be specific here. But I do feel like people who have, no, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't relate. I was like, I feel like people who use that term of like mom said are usually in the South. They do that a lot more. Mom said. I feel like people who like grew up in like very tight knit communities, you know.
Right,
they just naturally will be like, mom said, dad said.
Yeah.
Sandra said.
Sandra.
I
don't know Sandra.
Exactly. All right.
All right.
Yay. Great. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All righty then.
The end.
Sounds good. The end. Bye.
Go shower. Bye.
Go shower.
See ya. I did shower actually. I showered this morning.
I'm waiting for this thing to stop. Hold on.
That's it for this podcast episode.
Thank you so much for listening to our random ass thoughts.
To keep the conversation going, join us on social.
And if you have a friend that needs a chill pill or a laugh,
send them this podcast too. See you next week.